Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock, tick tock, tick tock.
Hello, everybody. This is Goldfinger the Gold Man, and it's the Goldfinger Minute. With me, I have three wonderful ladies from CebuFirst, the manager, and two other ladies. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi everyone. I'm Caroline Chinkin, one of the unit manager of CebuFirst Realty Ventures here in Dumaguete City.
And
Hello everyone, my name is Gretchen and I am from CebuFirst Realty Ventures, your sales agent.
wonderful. Thanks, Gretchen.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sheila May Bunglay from CebuFirst Realty Ventures as well, and I am a PRC accredited real estate salesperson.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to go with Sheila. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Sheila. I'll remember Sheila. And what is PRC?
PRC is agency here in the Philippines which regulate our sales agent so that we can practice in real estate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. And you guys specialize in Dumaguete? All
Yes.
three of you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you show properties here?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
Yes.
All of you. And tell us what kind of properties do you show? Tell me which properties you show, because I don't really know. Is it only for private use, real estate, for commercial or personal? Everything?
Everything, sir.
Everything. Okay. And
That's
you're
it.
the manager, Carol, and I know
Yeah.
you're on Facebook a lot. So I'm going to ask you some questions. First off, what have you seen from the past to the present? What changes has there been? Can you want to start with that, Carol? Have you seen changes in the real estate market here for foreigners that want to find an apartment or a house?
Yeah. The changes is that from the start before the rentals are not so high, but now because of a lot of foreigners coming here in Dumaguete, some of our rental properties are going up, and mostly it is easily to be taken.
Yeah, taken in which way? By other realtors or by people charging too much?
It depends.
But anything.
Yeah, anything.
So you have to be careful about what you look for, what you find, what you offer.
Yeah.
And then you've been doing real estate for how long in Dumaguete?
Me, I've been doing real estate for almost 6 years.
Oh, quite a long time. Gretchen,
Sir,
what have you seen the changes?
the changes I've seen before it's very, not very, but the usual, the people can afford easily because the properties are quite small or quite cheap. But now is the of course Negros Oriental are known as very tourists are coming here, so the value of the property is getting high as well because
Don't
it
worry,
depends
you
on
won't hear the dogs barking. I have filters on. We hear it, they won't hear it. It's okay.
Yes, sir.
Sheila, same thing?
Well, yes, sir. It's really there is really a very big change when compared before, because before, as we can observe, the city is quite not so busy, unlike now it's growing very fast with all the investment coming in.
Okay. Okay, you're going to have to give me your information so I can put it in the description so how people can contact you. You know CebuFirst, but you'll have to give me the phone numbers of contacts, okay?
Yeah.
And then we put this out to a lot of people that are interested in coming over here. Is there any suggestions you could tell foreigners? We call them expats. Expats that are coming in. Is there any suggestions of what they should expect? Carol?
What should
What should they expect? What should they know ahead of time? They should know whether they want an apartment or a house, of course.
Yeah.
But what should they expect in price wise?
Yeah, before they're going to rent for a long-term rent, first they going to search the month-to-month rental,
Mm.
so that they, what you call this, they really want the house that fitted what they like,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
some of the property rentals, it's good also in the pictures. What I advise to the foreign expats, what I mean is that they need to look in actual house.
They need to actually look. So
Yeah.
they need to be here.
Yeah, need
They
to be
can't.
here.
They shouldn't find something before they get here.
They can if they trust somebody.
You gotta get. What do you do? Videotape for them, or
Yeah, I do. Some of my clients, we do video call
Yes.
okay?
tour,
Okay.
video call tour.
Video call
All right.
Yeah.
And then they can send you the
Yeah,
deposit.
if they like it, then they will. Some they will try. If they trusting you, they will send a security deposit or reservation.
Okay. Gretchen, question
sir.
for you. I noticed that some places require first and security. Some requires first, second, and security. Is there any set rule?
Yes, for rental, sir, they have to secure a reservation, of course, if they want that property or that house for them. If they cannot go to see it in person, of course, they have to trust an agent, an accredited agent, for them to avail the house or the rental.
What about the first, security, and second? Is it 3 times the rent, or can they do only 2 times the rent?
For security deposit, it depends upon the owner if it's 2 months or 1 month security deposit.
And can it be for less money, the security,
Yes,
rather than the first month's rent? Does security have to be equal to the first month's rent?
yes, it's equal, sir.
Usually.
Normally,
Yeah.
usually it's equal.
Usually.
Yeah.
Normally.
And okay, Sheila. Hello.
My turn.
Your turn.
Okay.
So, what do you project the future is going to bring, as far as prices and availability, and what is the current availability for apartments and houses?
Well, as we know now that prices is always going up anyway every year, because properties usually doesn't depreciate. It always appreciate in values. So if expats are looking for rentals, well, as what my colleagues here are talking about, they can acquire it when they talk on an agent. We can give them better options with what they need.
They need to be explicit what they want.
Yeah, it
It
cannot.
helps narrow it down, I would imagine, if they tell you if they want a pool, if they want
Oh, yeah.
3-bedroom, 2-bath, but they
Yes.
want to be. What about areas? Are there some areas that are going up more than others?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Which areas are going up and why?
Usually
Gawin.
near the city in Dumaguete, and some also are like in Darwin, because it's
Near
they
beaches.
prioritize with the beaches.
The beaches, and
Yeah.
are running out of beach?
Yes.
Are you see it going, traveling further south, like to,
Where?
I think it's called
south there, here.
Sambuquita?
Over here?
Sambuquita?
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Sambuquita.
Sambuquita,
Are you
uh.
seeing things moving further south towards Sambuquita?
Yes, there's a lot of foreigners are acquiring farmlands in that area in the south.
They are,
We have provided
because there's more available beach, I
Yes,
imagine, at a
yes.
lower price.
at lower price. Exactly.
How about Valencia?
Valencia is also okay. It's very good for foreigners because it's cooler. The area is called it's called Little Baguio sometimes. Anyway, then it's very quiet, peaceful, and very conducive for those looking for something like residential. And I believe the prices in Valencia are also very affordable.
I think Valencia is more affordable, to be honest with you.
Well,
They haven't really built up
mhm.
a whole lot of commercial in Valencia.
Yes,
And eventually they might have a mall or a bigger shopping center there, but
might be.
but they don't have it yet. Now,
Yeah.
how can a foreigner own
A land.
a property?
A
How
property.
is it possible?
Actually, sir, if they would marry a Filipina, that's
Usually.
a possible thing.
Will the house be in the foreigner's name or the Filipinas?
Filipinos
Filipina.
name.
So technically, a foreigner cannot own property.
Condominium, sir.
Condo, they can own condo.
Condo.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot in Manila.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is there condos here in Dumaguete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is Marina, Fortuna.
Oh yeah. Okay. So they
A lot
can
of
own.
new
There are
condos.
some condos they can own.
Pricing, yeah.
Yes.
They
That's
can.
good. Now, so you have to be pretty safe with your Filipina. If it's a girlfriend,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you should put it.
Should be very.
There is
Very
a
for a little while.
safer ways to, sir. They can execute a lease of contract between them.
So you could do a lease,
a contract between the Filipina and
the foreigner.
foreigner. Yeah.
Foreigner.
So like
It's a
he has
safer.
he's allowed to stay in the home and he leases back
Yes.
for many years.
Yes, it can be done in 25 years, renewable every 25.
Or 50.
Not in one time as 50 years. The usual in lease of contract is 25 years after renewable after 25 years. The maximum is 25 years renewable.
And they have an automatic renewal.
Yeah, you can have it with a lawyer. They can execute
Okay.
such contract.
Now, my understanding, and tell me if I'm wrong,
Mm.
that a foreigner can he buy any property at all, even if it's in a corporation or with a lawyer, or a bank owns it? Is there any way a foreigner can own it without actually having his name on the title? Can it be held by a bank, a lawyer, or another way? Let's say he doesn't have
yes,
a Filipina.
it does.
It can be done.
It can be
happen.
represented.
Okay, so he can't own it, but somebody else can, and then he has an agreement with them.
Yeah,
Agreement.
it can be
Yes.
represented by.
And foreigners can own whatever structures on the property
Yes.
Yes.
because
Can be named under them. The
so you
structure.
own the structure, but you don't own the
The
land.
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 Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
They have
you
to
could do that
divide.
too. Yeah. All right, that's good. What's going to happen when the airport comes in
Bakong.
Bakong.
Bacon? Now, do you know how many years it's going to be before that airport comes in?
How about you, Carol?
No.
10 years?
Any
10 years
idea
from
with the
now or
airport?
5 years from now, I don't know.
5 to
We
10?
really
That's
Maybe
don't
10
have.
or 20? 10.
Maybe, sir.
What's going to happen with the property in Bacong?
Well, it will soar high if that comes
Yeah.
to it will come soon.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Of course,
So
it will
right
go
now,
rise.
sir, if you want to avail a property, you must have to avail it now because
Yeah,
the price range
they
is
know where the
very
airport
getting
is
high.
already, right?
Yes.
So is there some property that's on the same, it's Division Road, right? Isn't
Diversion.
Yeah.
Diversion.
So it's on Diversion Road. And Diversion, it's I don't know, when I drive it, it's on the right, but the other side is still residential. And is property available across from the airport? Land?
Yeah, they have available
Some lots and
Yeah,
property?
some lots.
Because
yeah.
that will probably turn commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have zoning here?
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
They do have zoning.
Yes. of
But I
course.
noticed that, like, you can run a business from your home. Have you noticed that?
Well, some.
I have a license. Well, Carolyn has a license
Yes.
to do bike rentals
Yeah.
from a residential
Yeah.
property. You also do sorry store.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things you can do from the home.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can.
So I didn't even know they had zoning laws here. They actually do have zoning laws.
Yes, they have.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
So an industrial property has to be in an industrial zone.
Yes.
A commercial retail has to be in a commercial zone.
Based on
But what
zoning.
about the people that have businesses from their home? It's residential.
Well, I'm sure they also apply for permits with that before they undergo such.
So it depends
Business.
on the business. I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got a permit for that.
All right. So let's talk about prices. Typically, right now, you want to find, say, someone comes into town, they contact you, and they want to find a apartment, and they want to find a 2 or 3 bedroom, 1 or 2 bath apartment in Dumaguete. What is the range of prices? Yeah, you're being. I saw that. She nudged you, Carol. That means you're up.
She's on rental, sir.
Actually, sir, for the prices, it really depends on the owner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Owner or bedrooms
Bed-
as well.
the number
on
of
the
rooms.
furniture,
Let's go with
the
2
number of
bedroom
rooms.
and 1
bedroom.
bath. Let's start with
2
that.
bedrooms and 1 bath. It's
Maybe
apartment.
10 to 15.
No. Oh, if it is furnished,
Typically,
Depends
it's
on-
going to be furnished because we don't. Yeah, let's go with furnished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
20,000.
20.
If it is here in Dumaguete.
And that's in pesos.
Yeah,
Yes.
20,000.
And if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath,
Two
Thirty-
bedroom, two bath,
35.
25
2-bedroom,
and up.
Yeah,
30
30 to
30.
and that's an
30,000.
apartment.
Apartment.
yeah.
Yes.
2 stories,
And I
sometimes
assume-
bungalow house.
Sheila,
Yeah.
is houses more?
Sometimes, sir, there are still bungalow houses with 30,000 rate or 25 with 3 bedrooms.
Are they
But-
in Dumaguete or are they outside the city?
Outskirt, not really close to Dumaguete. Sometimes
So
like
it could
in
be Cebu
next
land,
town.
which is kind of far.
Yeah, Cebu.
Or Valencia.
Yeah, next
There's a
town.
ways to get in.
Next town to Dumaguete.
Okay. So if it's in Dumaguete, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath,
It's
Uh,
high.
30 to 35.
30 to 35.
But some owners, they do already 40,000.
Mm.
yeah.
It is bungalow and brand new.
Now,
40.
last year, I wanted to move. I was looking at places. There were some beautiful homes in near City Mall in the heart of, I think it's Daro is the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very nice community, Daro. It's bigger pieces of property. And they had multi-bedroom home with multi-bathrooms. So I'm going to say 4 to 6 bedrooms,
Yeah.
3 or 4
4 to 6
bathrooms, and a pool.
I remember
Yeah.
that. We met that day. We met that time.
Yes.
That time.
50,000.
I bring you there.
They were kind of talking 50,000, but it ended up going for 65,000, as I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the owner that lived in Manila wanted premium money for it. I think I was willing to go 50 or 55 was my limit,
Yeah.
and they wanted more like 60 to 65 to 70,000. I believe it rented for that too.
Yeah.
Now it was a really nice piece of property.
Yeah.
Today, what would be the same rent on that piece of property?
Yeah.
Would it be higher?
The same.
This thing.
If you still think
Someone
it
is renting it.
I know they are, but if they put it back on the market, what can they get the same amount of money?
Actually, the owner of that is just to, you can negotiate it. If
You
you can
negotiate.
talk it to her
Yeah, she didn't
personally.
want a lot of people living there, as I remember. I looked at it because it had multiple bedrooms.
Yeah.
Okay. Multiple. I think it had more like 7. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And I figured I could sublet it, but she did not like that idea at all. She didn't want any sublets. But it did have a beautiful pool, and it came with a gardener and a pool man.
Yeah.
But again, that was a year ago. That was like 70,000. Kind of
She's
pricey.
selling it for that.
What do you mean she's selling it?
That property.
She's selling the property.
Yeah.
And what
If
is
somebody wants interested to buy it, she will for sell it.
Oh, she would sell it. What do you think the price would be?
12.5.
How much?
12.5.
12.5 million pesos. You guys are going to have to do the numbers. I don't have it in front of me. But
0.5.
we're looking at 54 right now. 54 American,
That-
54 pesos to the American dollar.
Okay.
Um,
Let's see how much would that
Sounds
cost.
like a lot of money.
Oh,
You
it
can
would be
afford that.
$231,481.
$1,000.
So 230,000
Dollars in dollars.
in U.S.
Yeah,
dollars.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
US
actually,
dollars.
that's not so bad compared to the prices in the U.S. To be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't get too much anymore for 200,000.
True.
And that was a particularly nice piece of property, very close to the city mall.
Yeah.
But how about on other properties? Is there other properties? I'm sure there's properties that sell for a lot less than 12 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes. Are there some 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes that are on the market that are below 5 million?
Yeah, we still have that one.
So it'd be below 100,000.
But do not expect that very close to the city. It
No.
should be
Or is it?
somewhere next town.
Next town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We should usually have that.
Do they have escrows here? You're looking at me blank.
Act.
Is that what?
An escrow is where you put the money in to a third party, and you make sure that everything is correct and everything's worked out. And if so, then the third party will pay the money to the person upon everything being accepted and correct on the house. You might have a house inspection. You might want to check the septic if it's a septic tank. Do they have that kind of thing here?
No.
No.
Yeah, I remember that one. I
Okay.
experienced one of my client
How?
wanted to have like that escrow money.
So what do they do? Just use a lawyer?
No.
Maybe it's not.
And they don't have an escrow.
Some owner don't accept that escrow money.
They don't
It's
accept
only
escrow.
in.
Okay, and they don't have. We also have title insurance. okay, in the U.S. Do they have title insurance here, which guarantees the title should something happen where you find out that there's a relative or someone, a daughter or son, somebody has claim to the property? How do you make sure and or guarantee clear title? Do you know?
Yeah, first we can identify if it's a clean title property or not. Initially, you have to check on what's written in the title, and then
Okay.
check if also you can verify it through the Register of Deeds to get a certified true copy of the title to check if it's not been encumbered to
Do you assist in that, or do they need to hire an attorney for
We
that?
can assist.
Oh, it can be done by
The
us
agent.
or by an agent to
You get a
acquire.
piece of paper that
Yes.
guarantees it's clear, you
Yes,
own it.
that will
It won't be something
verification.
later
Yeah,
on.
yeah. It's called actually a due diligence of the property before purchasing
Adjudication.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
adjudication.
And then if you will, after checking it, if you can see that it's really a clean title, like for example, the lot size is for sale at 500 square meter, and it is written in that title, you can check it, so it can be considered as clean title, and the name of the person in that title is the one to sign the
Okay.
deed of sale.
Now, if you're buying property, just land, no infrastructure, no improvements, just land. Do they do surveys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we always
really
do
nice.
that, sir. That's one of
Somebody
our
marks the corners.
That's also one of the due diligence. You have to check with a geodetic if it has through a relocation of the property, if it's correctly on that spot with existing markers, like we call it in Filipino as mohon. You have to check if it's really existing, then a geodetic engineer can do that through relocation, and or you will have a land survey of the
Does the
property.
seller do that or the buyer?
Usually when the title is clean, then the same size, then it has shown the markers or the mohon, then however the buyer insisted to review or to relocate, so it could be expense of the buyer.
Expense of the buyer.
Yeah.
And what about access? Because some properties are behind others, so they call them a flag lot,
Right.
because it looks like a flag, the driveway is like the pole, and then you have the property behind. What if there's a
second lot.
property for sale but there's no access to it? Is that a possibility?
road
Right,
access.
right.
Road access,
Yeah.
Road right of
driveway access.
Usually, sir, if that is the case, we can execute a road easement between the owner of the first lot, whoever owns that land. We can check if it's open for them to have a road easement agreement between them and the new buyer that is located on the second lot.
Okay.
If it's doable, you can have a geodetic to check on how long would be the road access so that they can pay it.
Okay, so if they give access,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and it's a road easement, is it good for life of the property?
Yeah, it is, especially when there is a contract with
Okay.
that. It will
So-
be done by a lawyer. No, it would be notarized. The road
Ah.
easement would be notarized, legally notarized to make it legal as
So it
well.
has to be all negotiated with the other property owner,
Yes.
and it has to be done through a lawyer, and you have to make sure it's guaranteed for life, because
Life,
otherwise you
yes.
don't have access to.
Yes.
Because
It
if you
is,
build on it,
it is for
it
life.
could be a problem.
Especially if the buyer has paid for the road access.
Mm.
That's usually, we always do that, especially with lot that is located on a second lot without the road access.
Okay. Is Darwin prices in the area of Darwin where the beach is more expensive than downtown Dumaguete?
Very
Yeah,
expensive.
You
very
say it's more expensive than Darl?
The beaches,
It is.
Gang, what do you
Yeah,
think so?
It used to be.
They really go up.
Yeah.
So
the
in the
property
last
there
couple
in
years, I would say,
Darwin. Yeah.
it became real expensive,
Yeah.
especially large lots,
Yes.
because they build in bigger homes.
Seldom we can find a beach lot there in Darwin that is cheaper.
Unless if
Yes.
it is rush or
Yeah.
the seller
Or-
is
Have
Or doesn't have the
Emergency
title. It's for
problem.
tax deck only. Usually it's
Yeah.
lower price compared to the one with
Let's explain that again.
title.
What
Yeah.
makes it lower priced?
If the property usually sometimes, sir, there are properties that doesn't have the title of the land,
Oh.
but the owner has a tax declaration and they paid it regularly or annually, yearly at the assessor for the payment of the taxes. So
Is it safe to buy that?
it can be applied. You can apply for a title for it if you will go to DNR for and there's a lot of requirements actually. Then
Okay.
those kind of lands are cheaper compared to those with titles.
Yeah,
But
I
it
think
needs
most of us that come from America, Canada, Australia or Europe are going to want all of the securities because
Yeah.
we have title
Yeah.
insurance,
Yes.
which guarantees it,
It
and you get
is-
paid back
it is,
money if there's a problem, or they pay for the
yes.
cost of making it right.
Foreigners usually go for the titled one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very
they weren't going
seldom
to take a
the tax
chance.
deck,
Not,
yeah.
not typically, not with that kind of money.
Yes, it is.
Is there still land available in Darwin?
Yeah,
Of course, there are
there's
still.
there's plenty.
Unimproved property?
Yeah.
Yes.
Undeveloped.
And how much are we looking at? I know you guys go here. We're by the square meter. They can do the math. We're in the U.S. For the only reason I don't know why. U.S. uses square feet. Only one in the world. Everybody else uses meters, metric system. However, let's go with. You need about 500. My estimate, and I'm not an expert on this. 500 square meters is not a real big lot, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a regular size, prime
Regular
size.
size lot,
Yeah,
not terribly big.
prime sizes
Okay.
for lots.
And how much are we looking at for land in Darwin on the beach side
Beach
of National
side.
Highway, on the beach side, where you can walk to the beach? How much are we looking at? Do you know approximately the price?
I guess, sir, it's three. If
Did
it's
you mean really along the beach or fronting
or walking
a beach?
distance,
Within walking, let's start with within walking.
So it
distance.
could be
Say-
second lot like that.
It could be third, fourth, or
third
fifth,
or
but,
fourth.
but within walking distance.
Okay.
I
Like
guess
I'm
it's
200
for
meters from the main road, so
Ah, yeah.
where I am to the main road,
Mm-hmm.
but on the ocean side, on the other side of National Highway. How much do you think?
3,000.
3 to 4.
Yeah.
3 to
1,000
4.
per square meter.
Yeah,
3 to 4.
3,000.
1,000 per square meter.
Per
So
square.
per square meter
Yeah.
is 3,000.
Yes.
Okay. Again, you guys gonna have to take 3,000 divided by 54 to get your dollars per square meter times
How
3,000.
much would
500
that be times
times
500 divided by 54?
Don't have a calculator. I'm sorry.
It's
Oh,
20.
it's very affordable.
How much?
Only $28,000
So you can buy a
US
lot for
dollar.
28,000
US
dollars.
dollar. Yeah.
Okay, now if it's on, is there anything available on the beach?
on the beach.
That's this different story now.
I know.
It's 5 to 8.
I
per
have
square.
one in Darwin, which is 1,020 in area. Then it's for sale of
Siglo.
22 million if pesos. If I have to divide it in
Divide
US,
the 1 million.
22,
How
yes,
much was
in
it?
22 million pesos.
22 million divided by
If-
54.
54, yeah. If I'll divide it into US dollar
And then
54,
times
you will,
1,000.
yeah, you will get
400.
$407,400 US dollar.
And you can make an offer, but we're talking $400,000.
Yes, yes,
It's
it's still negotiable. Yeah, you
How
can.
negotiable?
When the buyer will decide, they can talk it with the owner.
So typically Americans
Hate
are
niggas.
greedy. And pushy.
Yeah.
Okay, we just are. Okay, so we're going to offer half. Is that ridiculous?
Yeah.
I think it's not
That's-
acceptable.
Not
It's
sir.
impossible.
So let's say it's 400,000. We offer 300,000. Is that acceptable?
So if we will convert that
Negotiate.
like 300,000 times 54, it would go for 16M.
I guess they can negotiate for 1 million to 2.
Yeah,
Million.
for
That's
22
only-
million
Million
pesos,
price,
probably the last drop could be 20 million.
So 10%.
Yeah, only
All right.
10%.
So you need to be more between 10% or a little 15% less
Yeah.
than the asking.
Yes.
You find that people now who own property in prime locations are asking a premium
Yeah.
You're laughing
Premium.
because I already know the answer. So does everybody else, because they know the prices are just going to go up.
Yes, exactly.
Isn't that crazy?
Uh-uh.
It's a little sleepy Dumaguete and down when all of a sudden in the last couple of years have really
That's
gone
what
up.
they call, sir, land always appreciate, never
Yeah.
depreciate.
Well, it does in the
Over
U.S.
the
too.
years.
Does in the U.S.
Yeah.
too.
Mm.
Okay. Do you guys have anything to add? Because I'm not sure. I'm a little bit out of questions from my viewers. We kind of covered we covered apartments. We covered houses. I assume commercial property on National Highway, which is the main highway, or is even higher.
Yes,
or
Yeah,
very
so much
higher.
higher.
quite a bit higher.
Mm.
Okay. And how difficult is it to build here if you wanted to build on a piece of land? Is it difficult to get permits? Does it take a long time?
No, not difficult.
It's just if
It's
you
the-
just follow with
the
the
process, the
requirements and the
requirements.
process, it's not really difficult, sir. You
Would
just
it
have
be
to
within
apply
a
for
year
that.
or longer than a year?
In a year.
In a year, within the year.
You could start
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you have also the
That-
budget
yes.
already.
The
Well,
budget.
budgets usually end up being more. Typically, I've done a lot of projects in my time,
Mhm.
and whatever you figure it is, whatever you estimate the cost is, it's usually 1.5 times that, because you do other things as you're building, adding extra air conditioners or lights, or add an
Yeah.
extra wall, or you do an improvement, interior improvement. So it usually costs 50% more.
Yeah.
Okay, I know here it did. It cost me a lot more than 50% more here. I budgeted ridiculous. I budgeted like 300 or 400,000.
It's out
I
on your-
ended up
It's
spending.
out of your budget already.
Yeah, I spent more than 2 times that here, and this I don't even own it. Okay, I rent it. But let me ask you this: so on my property here, and my followers know that, I got a 15-year lease. Is that common? Is that available? Is that normal?
Please, Gang, are you familiar with?
What you mean 15 years?
I agreed. They wanted originally the place. This property was 45,000.
It's for
They
lease.
lowered it to 40. When I
Okay.
came in, I offered 35.
Okay.
I offered first, last, and security, so 105,000 down, 35 upon signing the contract, and 70 more when I moved in.
Move in, yeah.
I told them I want 1 month no rent because I had to clean it up and fix it up. It wasn't in good shape.
Yeah.
I told them I'm going to spend a lot of money on it, okay, to make it where I enjoy the property. So we're not just talking paint. The pavers that you saw outside, I put all those pavers in. We planted, we fixed everything up, not just paint. We added this air conditioner and 2 more split units. It didn't have air conditioning, so I added a total of 3 split units into the property. We had to redo electrical wiring. I added a water pressure pump and a water tank, a washing machine with drains. I had to bring in power for the air conditioners and plumbers and power for the water pumps, and it was a lot involved. Hot water on the kitchen sink, things like that. So I thought I'd spend 400, maybe 500,000. It was almost double that.
And
Okay.
renovating it.
Renovating. So
Okay.
I told them I would only do it if I had 15-year lease. Okay, I don't own it. I pay rent.
Okay.
But I didn't want to
15 years at least.
I didn't want them doing all these improvements and have them come back to me in 1 year and say, "Hey, your rent now is 50,000, or you get out." Okay,
Yeah,
because I did all the improvements. Now, some of the things I spent on were things I could take with me, like a refrigerator. Okay, but if it's in a year, within a year, I probably would take the air conditioners. But if it's 5 years, I probably wouldn't, because they're already 5 years old, and typically lifespan of a split air conditioner is 10 or 15 years. Okay, it has to be replaced.
Okay.
So, so I got a 15-year lease. Is that something that someone can do if they're going to rent and spend a lot of money to fix it up, or they want to spend a lot of time? Is that normal? Can they do that?
It really depends on the owner.
Have you ever seen that before?
No.
What's the
I have
longest?
maximum at least 3 years.
3 years.
The owner agree it. But mostly owner 1 year lease, then renew.
Yeah, but who's going to want to spend a lot of money improving a property if they're only there for 1 year with a 1-year option? That's not going to happen.
Yeah. It really depends to the owner for your negotiation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Some
there's a friend of
owners
mine.
will do for the renovation. They will just less
Add
on
on.
your rental.
Yeah,
Deduct it
or-
from
Deduct it
rental.
from your rental.
Yeah.
Deduct what?
Yeah.
You don't want to spend
The
it
improvements
from now,
I
for
spent way
example.
too much. They never would have approved the improvements. I did a lot of improvements.
But
So how about
maybe you
your
not
monthly,
negotiate
your
to her.
monthly?
Yeah,
Mm.
I didn't. I told them, well, they want to take all the furniture out. That was fine. And I told them they have to clean the property off, and that was fine. And I gave them 2 weeks to remove everything, and then I needed 30 days to fix everything up. It actually, I moved in within 3 weeks. So I started the rent, instead of a month later, I started within 3 weeks. Now, a friend of mine, and you probably know him, Justin Carmack, who is a critter hunter. He has a dive shop. I'm actually wearing his shirt. So he had to find a commercial location and lease it for his business. He does diving. And he had a problem where he was on a 1 or 2 year lease.
Okay.
And when they came back, they says, we don't want to rent to you. So he had to find somebody that would do a long-term lease. It is my understanding he got, and I could be wrong, please excuse me, but I believe he got a 20-year lease on a commercial piece of property. So he could build his business up and spend money, and he's doing improvements out of pocket to create the habitat that he needs with patios, roof covers. He's doing a lot of things. Okay, on this property, bungalows, I'm going to say, or apartments to live in it, and I'm sure he has to have a pool. I don't know if the pool's already there or not to do his lessons, and it's right on the ocean.
Where? San
Yeah.
Baguita or Darwin?
I think it's either Darwin or I think it's Darwin, but I'm not. I believe it's Darwin. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he got a 20-year lease,
That's
so that was
great.
good because it was commercial, though. I
Yeah,
understand.
commercial.
I explained to him I'm running a business here. I didn't want to have to change my business address, signs. I wanted a long-term lease, so they did it. So is that something that someone could consider if they wanted to rent someplace, that they could get a 5-year lease?
Yeah, 5 years.
Actually, I have a client, a Korean one. He rented a apartment in Daro under a 10-year
10-year.
lease contract. Yeah.
So you just really have to ask for it.
Yeah,
it
you just
depends on the
ask
owner.
and negotiate to the
Yes.
owner. All the
owner
decision
agree.
is for the owner.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
they
they are
might
the
ask for-
property
Uh-uh.
owner.
And they may ask for more money.
Yeah, it depends.
They might.
They
Yeah.
might increase
would,
it.
but-
They might increase.
might.
One thing I noticed about
I think
trying
if
to be
it
nice.
is long-term
Long
lease,
term.
lower.
can
The
lower.
price is
lower the
lower.
price.
It's discounted
You
amount.
can negotiate the price and ask for last price.
I do not know. Is there property taxes in Dumaguete? Do they have to pay a tax on property here if you
Yeah.
own it?
Of
course.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does it go up as well?
Yeah.
Every year it increases the property tax?
Property
really.
increase.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Not
Not
too
too
much.
sir. Just
It's pretty low
But
then.
there's
Yeah.
a property
Okay.
tax.
There's property tax.
Yeah.
Okay. What haven't I covered, guys? Ladies, what else can you add for the foreigners that want to come over and they want to find a place? And I noticed that there's not a whole lot of supply. Have you noticed that there seems to be a shortage of supply?
Did you say that's so good to hear?
What supply?
Supply and
oh.
demand. So supply is availability
supply.
of
Uh,
houses, properties, or apartments, and the
Less.
demand
Very
seems
less.
to go up.
Yeah.
The demand is higher.
Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Higher demand than supply.
That's very good news
That's what's
for us
forcing the
agents.
prices. That's what's forcing the prices up. Okay, supply and demand is in all business. You have a certain amount of supply, and if you have more demand than supply, the prices increase.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Yes. And do you see it changing
Yeah. Every year it's changing.
for the
For the
more?
price.
For
For the for going up?
For the price going up.
The demand is going up, but the
Yeah,
supply
yeah.
is
It's
not.
less. Especially with rentals. Yeah. It is.
What is the price of Marina Spatial now? What is the rental price typically? You said you can own the condo, so let's start
Yeah.
with. I know they rent them too. So let's talk about Marina Spatial. Is it called?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's right, very close to the water. Some
Yes.
units have a view still,
Yes.
and
very
some don't
good.
because they built them all in front.
Yeah, it's a very good.
What is the
condo.
price typically of renting at the marina?
For studio,
We have-
it's 15
20,
Yeah,
then
The
25.
20, 25 for two
Per month.
bedrooms.
25 for 2 bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
25 and up,
Oh.
it depends on the
They charge extra for a
furnitures
view.
and the view.
Yeah.
I bet they do.
If the sea view, it's 30 to
30,
35.
35.
Yes.
But some, they make it 40 already.
Already.
It really depends on the owner.
So they have a mall there now.
Yeah.
They have some great restaurants.
Yes.
Cafe Racer is very nice. And they have a lot of restaurants because in North Point, that's in North Point, North Tourism, there's a lot of very nice hotels and restaurants, and they're really building that up. In fact, they're
Yes.
doing something with the wall now. They're widening the road, I believe. So, how much is Marina Spatial to purchase?
Purchase.
Purchase.
Purchase
For
down.
2 bedrooms, some selling it 4.5.
4.5 million pesos.
Furnished already.
Yeah.
To
Already
5 million.
5 million.
Yeah.
Okay. And Marina Spatial has a pool, very big pool. Do they have a gym or a workout?
How-
Yes, they
gym.
have
They have
a
a gym and
gym.
workout area.
Yeah.
They have elevators. What's the situation on parking there? I heard that you have to buy your
You have to
parking spot.
rent
Yeah.
or buy the
So you can rent a parking spot.
The parking spot.
How much does it cost to rent a parking spot there?
It's 6K per month to 7.
6,000 to
6,000
7,000.
pesos
Per
or,
month.
For
or
basement
roughly
parking.
$100. It's a little over $100 US per month to rent a single parking spot.
Yes.
Is that underground or is that
Basement.
it's basement?
Basement,
They have a
yeah.
basement. Okay, so it's protected.
Yes.
Okay, and then to purchase it, how much is it?
It's 1
1.2.
million to 1.2.
Million.
Yeah.
1.2 million.
Whoa.
You know, very
And only if you have if you
Little
own a
bit.
condo, only condo owners can purchase, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
There's
to be a
a
condo.
room.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
So
somebody
many
can purchase
assume.
all the parking spots and charge a fee for parking. I think it was this businessman. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, okay, are you only allowed one parking spot, or can you rent two?
yeah.
Yeah, it can. You can rent too.
And you can buy two.
Yes.
Yes.
Rent
As long as
or
you're
buy.
living there.
Yes.
Okay.
It's allowed.
All right. Well, okay, so that kind of gives everybody an idea of what they could actually own. And in a condo, a foreigner can take title in his own name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can be.
Doesn't have to be married to a Filipino.
Yeah.
Doesn't have.
He could be a tourist in Malaysia.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, on a tourist visa.
As long as can pay.
As long as you can afford
The
it.
foreigners
If
Yeah.
you
And
pay
afford.
cash for it,
Foreigners.
then what is the cost month? We're not going to talk about the parking, but if he paid cash for the unit, what is his cost annually? What
How
are the
much
payments
is the
other than
condo juice?
utilities? Obviously, he has to pay for utilities.
I think
For the
juice.
condo juice, for the 2 bedrooms, I think 3,500 up.
3,500 pesos
per month.
depending on-
Annual? Per month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
per month.
Per month.
And what
Association
does that,
dues.
What does that cover?
That's the requirement
Security.
for paying for the security,
Mhm.
for the amenities,
Amenities.
and others.
Like the pool,
The gym,
the
pool.
the landscaping, the
Yeah.
cleaning. Okay, but you pay for your own electricity.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you
of
pay for
course.
your own water?
Yes.
Water
You have your
is
own
separate.
meter.
You
Always
have to have your own
excluded.
internet.
Yeah.
Internet.
Yeah.
Yes, of
You the one.
And what do they cook with? Is it electricity? They cook?
Electricity.
So it's
Not
all
allowed
electric. It's
at
all
all.
electric. No gas.
No
Mm.
gas.
Yeah, gas is dangerous in a
Yeah.
high rise. Yeah, I could understand that. And you're paying for the upkeep and repair of elevators and building. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's part
So-
of the association.
So 3,500 monthly
Yes.
is the pesos. In pesos is the HOA.
HOA.
Okay.
HOA.
Very good. Okay, that kind of covers
I
that.
think they make it, they call that 100 per square meter.
It's
100, like if the 2 bedroom is 32 square meters, so times 100,
so it's
something like
1,300.
that.
Yeah, that's a very good location actually.
Yeah, because,
But it is very small.
yeah.
The bedrooms are small.
But
But if you're a single guy, it's probably fine. But the bedrooms are small. It's not a whole lot of area. Is there rules on the pool? During COVID, when I looked there, they wouldn't let multiple people into the pool. They limited how many people. Is that still the way it is, or is the pool open now?
Yeah, it really needs to be limited.
They say still
The schedule,
require
you need to
schedules.
have scheduled by the security guard.
And how about for the gym or
The
exercise?
same.
So there's schedules,
Yeah.
and they have a security person there
Yeah. You can-
you have to make appointments to use the
Yes.
pool. Okay,
Yeah.
that part I did not like. To be honest with you, I did not like. I want to swim daily. I mean, and it's like, no, maybe 2 times, 3 times a week, you know. And it's because where I have that Freedom Apartments, I swam daily. So, and it didn't matter what time or what hour. I mean, I don't want a certain time I have to swim. We're kind of spoiled, us Americans, you know that. So, we don't like to follow rules. And then, what kind of problems do people create for themselves when they go for an apartment or something like that? Have you seen certain problems that keep coming up that you have to deal with? The same kind of problem?
Where?
Well, when you're dealing with foreigners, okay? To be honest, I know Americans are very difficult,
Yeah.
especially if they're from New York or big cities. Do you find that to be true when you're taking them around to show them places? Are they difficult, or all of them different?
Yeah, some foreigners they comparing their place from here
from here.
because they usually their houses there is big.
Right.
Yeah,
And this,
but when they come here, oh, like that,
yeah, it's a little different here.
little different.
It's
But
a li-
some foreigners they do understand that they have to, what you call this, adjust.
You
They
have to
don't
adjust your
compare.
thinking. You have to adjust your thinking
Yeah.
and what you expect and what you wish.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
because
which
you
is-
the one are coming here.
It's a little different. It's a lot different.
A lot of different.
It's a lot of different.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Can you think of anything I missed? Do you have inventory to show?
Yeah, I have some.
Of
You have
course,
some?
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you give me your card, and I'll put the information
Yes.
on the description.
Okay.
If anybody has any particular questions, make sure you give me your email address, and I could
Yes.
forward. People email me questions, and I can
Okay.
just forward the email to you. And if they're looking for property, they may contact me, and I'll just forward that to you as well.
Yeah.
All right, that's
sure.
probably the best way.
They
I'll
will
try to
do.
get them to contact you directly, but a lot of times, they're
They will.
most of the people I know are my age.
Yeah.
Okay, so being my age, I may not look it, but I'm 69 next week.
Really?
June 2nd,
69.
June 2nd, 69.
Advance happy birthday, sir.
Thank you. So I have 1 week to go. Knock on wood.
But not look like 69.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people I have here are in their later 50s, usually retired.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to be
Just for
over
the
62 typically,
Yes.
or in their later 50s at least. Okay, like 58 and or older. There's 70s and 80s that come over here because they just want to relax and
Yeah.
not deal with the problems associated with the U.S. city or Europe city, because just they want to be around people that are our same age. Are you seeing a more influx of older people coming here, or do you see younger?
Older.
Older.
Mostly
older.
older.
I know,
Only seldom young.
especially Dumaguete.
Yeah,
Seldom,
just-
Dumaguete is-
very few.
I know. Dumaguete's getting an older crowd. It reminds me of, we have places called like Sun City. Sun City, you have to be 55 or older, and then everybody in the community is retired or older.
Golden.
Okay, that's what Dumaguete's starting to look like.
Yeah,
Now there's a lot of Filipino people here. Obviously because they have the schools. They have some major schools here, so there's a lot of young people here that come in. But for retiring and for living here, it's
Mostly old, the old
I assume
Retiring.
mostly American.
American. Yeah.
What's the other country that comes here a lot?
German, lots of
German.
German. Yeah,
German.
I have clients that are German.
Okay, German.
Australian as well.
Okay, are they easier to
And
deal with
Europe.
than Americans? You can be honest.
Oh well, German. They are very straight with what they want.
Germans are strict with what they want.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially if they have something like to look for a land for a specific. So you have
So
to.
what you have to do, and I'll just give you advice, is you have to make it very clear that they must give you specifics of what
Yes.
they want.
So usually before you will check on a land, you have to
Ask.
to orient them with what could
Maybe
they
have a checklist to have them
Yes,
check off what they want. Do they want a pool? Yes or no? Do they want
Yes,
you know,
I like that. Something
how many
like
bedrooms?
that.
How many bathrooms?
Yeah,
Furnished,
you have to be
unfurnished?
specific.
They're very
They want to be
strict.
on the second floor or the first floor, because us
German.
being older, we don't like going
Yes,
upstairs.
Yeah.
they don't want to waste their time as well.
No, and are they handicapped? There's a lot of things and if you're going to deal with older gender people from around the world, it probably behoove you to have a checklist.
Sir,
for
and the
them.
most important, sir, is the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that's
the number one.
So what is their
So the-
budget? And they have to be honest.
Yeah,
You
you
have to
can-
say, to them,
yeah.
hey, what's your maximum
Well,
number?
Yes.
What's your
You have
minimum?
to ask first.
And because in an apartment living, it's a little more difficult here
Yeah.
because you have people
Yeah.
closer together,
Yes.
and you have to share, and you'll hear other noises
Yes.
versus a house,
Yes.
and they have to be made aware of that.
It's more compressed.
All right.
apartments, Yeah.
I think we covered it all. Ladies, thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
being
sir.
here.
Yeah.
I will
Sir.
edit this and have it out in the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So good.
And then make sure you give me your information.
Yes,
Okay?
I will.
Your
Hopefully the
information
sound
as
came out
well, sir.
okay because guys, I used one microphone because we were getting an echo. As I had to turn one microphone up so loud to get all three of you. I'm pretty sure it's going to get my voice, though it may be a little muffled. We're working on one microphone, and hopefully that'll work out. I'll check it. Thank you very
Okay, sir,
much.
thank
Thank
you so
you,
much,
sir.
sir.
All right,
Thank
you
you
guys
so
take
much.
We
care.
enjoy
All
the
right, we're gonna
interview.
stop it right now. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hopefully we helped you. And let
Yes.
me know if you have any questions. You could put it on the comments, or you can email me, and you'll get their address, their phone number, and their email address in my description. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hickory dickory dock.